Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Ragin' to the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Ragin' 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, Chief Envelope Licker for Critical Blast Logistics, Myopic Proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing, and Receptionist for Critical Blast Consulting. There'll be more. We'll do more, I know. It is the open mic night, open topic night. So, yeah, it's open mic, but we're not like putting the mic out there. If you want to jump in here and talk about something's on your mind, just tell us in the chat. We will judiciously send the link to those who are there. If you are a Russian bot name, then probably, you're probably not going to get it. But, those who know us, and we're happy to talk with you. In the meantime, we have our usual peanut gallery here. We have Mike Walters from the Mike Stand.
Hello, everybody.
And we got Chris Tomulovich. I can still say that. I haven't had enough to drink tonight.
It is incredible, brother.
From Hero Shack. And George Peter Gatsis from GeorgePeterGatsis.com.
It's George Peter Gatsistan.
Gatsistan. Well, you're up in Canadianistan.
That's right.
Canadianistan.
Yeah, that's right. You got it. Well done, Mike.
although we've had some very interesting word usage tonight thus far. That was the second one. You weren't here with us a few minutes ago, but RJ, would you like to tell George what I'm talking about?
Mike learned how stories are created. We should.
Well, at least how I've created several of mine. I was telling him that I've been sleeping at weird hours, just getting exhausted and stuff. And I said, I wake up at 3 a.m, I shit out another story. And Mike was like, what?
But do you flush and do you wipe your hands? Wash your hands.
Not often. When it's a story, I leave all that stuff all over me. It just stinks it right up.
Well, as you guys know, I do a historical comic retrospect on Friday night, and not this past Friday, but the week before, when we were reading through some. In fact, we were reading the Superman story, where it was the first appearance of Jimmy Olsen. I was telling you guys about that last week, and we talked about how they use the word surreptitiously in that story. So,
geez, no wonder comic book kids are so smart.
Yeah, we read those $5 words. So yeah, Chris, I can completely follow along with that. When I was doing short stories, and I was part of the Zoetrope Writers Workshop online, there was discussion that was about. They started talking about Nicolas Cage in the chat. And it's because, Francis Ford Coppola and Sophia Coppola and Nicolas Cage was all that. And somebody, since it was all supposed to be about the stories we were writing and judging on each other, someone said, why are we talking about Nicolas Cage? There's a story out there called that. And it was like 4 p.m. and I went home and I was like, why isn't there a story out there called that? And I literally lay in bed that night staring at the ceiling till like 3 a.m. And the entire story was in my head. And when I got to work early the next morning. I get in early so I can, do stuff. I opened up the submission form, which is where you're supposed to like cut and paste your Word document into this and then send it off for others. And I just started typing directly into the submission form, the story Nicholas Cage. And it was a Christmas story about Santa Claus, Nicholas, who was in a cage and was let out once every year to seek penance from children by giving them gifts. But they were always asleep and could never see him, so he never got it. It was an eternal punishment.
Almost like what did they say about? There's this one thing I remember about hell. Something about hell being custom made.
Oh yeah, that's lots of people got their own interpretations of it, as fits whatever fiction they're trying to write. Hello, Mr. Yanafui. Glad to see you out there. Yes, if you really want me to see me turn into Bigfoot, I can do that. I have the full body Yeti costume in the closet.
Hello to Nicholas, Intense Webs, and Mr. Yanafui. Hopefully you guys are having a good weekend. That's
very active chat. Yeah. So what's everybody else been up to? Before I ask what everybody else has been up to, I'm going to tell you what I've been up to. My show, I get to go first. So Tuesday, heck of a show. We had a great show. First time I ever ran an auction after watching several of them online. And this one, it went well, I think. Other than my screwing things up every now and then, I didn't screw up the money. That was the important thing.
I didn't think you screwed up at all. I think considering that like a lot of us were unsure what we were doing, it was great. Like it really came off pretty well.
Wait, are you telling me you didn't learn anything about money laundering?
No. No. Well, if I wanted to know about money laundering,
naughty Georgie.
Yeah. If I wanted to know about money laundering, I'd start an Indiegogo. Come on. But we auctioned off some original art, some signed comics, a couple of different toys, and we made $295 for comic books for kids, which cb4k.org. It's an organization that does exactly what the name of it says. It takes comic books and it puts it into the hands of kids who are in hospital beds, cancer centers, and the money is because Mark Weiss, who runs the place. Comic book companies will donate their overstock, but he has to pay to have it shipped in. And then hospitals will take the comics, but he has to pay to ship them out. So,
hey, that you could bump that total up 100. Diana finally got that deposit figured out properly. And so like that was pretty exciting.
So the group sent in like almost $400, $395. Right. I didn't want to take any credit for Diana's 100, and I wanted you to bring it up. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Well, we really wanted to do it through Critical Blast because we just think you're straight up awesome. So we're like, yeah, let's support this. Let's support the Kids for Comics. This is a great way to get in. Yeah, exactly. But it was a nice venue to get in through, It was like, because frankly, sometimes for someone like me, it's hard for me to approach a new organization. But when my buddy RJ has already done it, all I have to do is go help. That's awesome.
Yeah, there we go. And I will give credit where it's due. Daphne Lage, I was sending her the money for her shipping. She said to keep that and turn that in over to Comic Books for Kids. Donated the shipping cost.
I saw that little promo before you popped on there, RJ. Her and
yeah, well we're doing promo swap.
Kate Lanning or something like that.
Nita Lanning. And of course it's Lanning, because on the video thumbnail for the whole auction, I called her Manning because I worked with Anita Mann at my first job for 5 years. And it just like stuck in my head. It's like the names were just similar enough.
The name is Anita Mann?
No, just Nita Mann. And she was married, so she didn't. But and yes, the joke existed even then. It was, you're named what you're named.
Yeah. RJ, while I wasn't able to stick around to watch a lot of the streams this week, I did pop in, like, and share. So I did at least do that much.
Always appreciate. I do the same on yours, man. Sometimes I can't stay the whole way, but I pop in, listen, say a comment, and like and share.
Well, there was one interesting news topic that came up this week, and we talked a little bit about that before earlier in the week. Also, of course, on the historical comic retrospect, we covered some of the stuff that came from, October. As I told you, we're in October 1938 now. We'll be finishing up this Friday with Quality Comics, and we'll be reading The Clock again, Mr. Captain Napkin Face.
Yes.
But this past Friday, of course, touched upon Ace Comics Volume 1, number 20, where I did just some quick little summary work, and then we read from Fiction House. The main stories we read through, of course, were Gilda Gay, the Modern Girl, Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, and the Weird Stories of the Supernatural, the Diary of Dr. Hayward. Of course, Dr. Hayward one was written by Jack Kirby, believe it or not, under the pseudonym of Kurt Davis. And then Sheena's was from Will Eisner under the pseudonym W. Morgan Thomas. Now, I've seen this before, but I haven't mentioned it on here. A lot of these stories that Fiction House is doing, that Will Eisner and Jack Kirby were doing, they were kind of reprints that were originally published in Wags magazine over in Great Britain back in the 30s. And then they reprinted them, Hawks of the Sea as well, which started out in Quality Comics and then eventually went over to Fiction House. So some little tidbits there. Now,
So I have a quick question just to kind of clarify something. They used to use like ghost names because they didn't want other companies to know they were working for another company. Was that the idea behind it?
I'm not sure why they use pseudonyms. It may have been. You have to remember this was the very early days of.
Not yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Maybe avoiding some racism or something.
This was still the very early days of comics. So they probably, this is still 1938. And even though.
So it might not have been prestigious either.
Right, exactly. It's one of those things where they weren't sure. They didn't know, even though Superman had just debuted just a few months prior to that, they didn't know that, like, comics, particularly the superhero genre of comics, was going to be a boom.
Right.
And because of that, obviously, you want to be careful. You don't want to have you don't want to attach your name to a failed product, and then if comics didn't succeed the way they did, think about it, Chris.
Right, it could have hurt them in the other areas of publishing.
Right, because you wrote comics. Comics were crap.
Yeah, kitty books. Okay, I got you.
But they ended up being the boom. So
Or they could have just been trying to avoid letting their wives and girlfriends know how much money they're making.
Yeah.
Well, in some cases, like I'm sure, like with Will Eisner writing Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, there, I'm sure that his wife may not, unless she just happened to be the model for Sheena. I'm sure that Will Eisner's wife might not take too kindly to him writing about a leopard.
The money spent.
Well, you know what? To speak to that real quick, I have a troll story in our current book of a female troll who uses magic and seduction to do her thing. And Diane has been extremely cool about it. I was worried about it. It's not pornographic, but it's more, it's definitely innuendo. Mm-hmm. And she just went through it this morning. She did her read through and she loved it. I was like, whew, okay, that story stays.
Now, I do also remember, and we've talked a lot about Wonder Woman in the past, and I'm sure RJ knows this as well. Wonder Woman was actually modeled after Marston's two women, his wife and his mistress.
Yep.
He got to combine them together? Oh.
Yeah, she was basically modeled after those two. So
that's kind of an honor if you think about it.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman has become a legend.
Yeah. Now the news story that I was talking about that RJ, I know you commented on too. Now, if you guys are familiar with the Vic Mignogna situation, or what The voice.
I never heard of him.
He's an anime dub voice actor. Basically, he was fired. He was in essence canceled. He got let go from Funimation because they were accusing him of being, everything being creepy to assault. So, there's no actual evidence of it.
Somebody in anime being creepy? Come on.
Definitely, he sued them for defamation. He lost the case, but he's appealing it. We're still waiting on the appeals. That's the long and the short of it. Well, one of his more vocal detractors came out and said something stupid this week. It wasn't even in regards to Vic either. It was actually in regards to Trump. There's this other voice actress by the name of Amanda Winley, most famous as the first English voice of Rei Ayanami from Neon Genesis Evangelion from the ADV dub of Evangelion. Okay, that's the one. If you guys had watched Toonami in the 90s, early 2000s, you probably heard her voice as Rei Ayanami. Well, she kind of came out this week in her tweet and was actually almost seemed like she was saying that she was glad Putin attacked the Ukraine this week because if there's a war going on, a president who is seeking re-election during a war is more likely to get re-elected.
I reminded her that Nixon.
Yeah.
Oh, Nixon?
Yeah. We got rid of Johnson and took Nixon to end Vietnam War because we switched presidents in the middle of a war. It's been done.
Well, and it's such a bad take right now. It's politics. Everything could turn around and Biden could end up okay in 2 years. But right now is not the time to try to it's so hard right now.
Yeah, but here's a couple of things though. One, we're not the ones at war. We're not actually involved in the war.
That's right.
It's Russia and Ukraine first off.
Yep.
Second off, considering that she doesn't care if people get nuked as long as Trump doesn't become president, I don't think she'd be too happy if Putin did decide to launch nukes at our country and one of those nukes landed right on her house, killing her and her family.
No, I don't think the nuke will actually kill her because her ego's so massive. I think it'll just smoke the nuke.
They say roaches survive.
Know who Amanda Winley is?
RJ knows what I'm talking about.
Wait, George, do you know who Amanda Winley is?
No, I never heard of her, and I don't think any of us should even care because she sounds like a piece of shit.
Shit! Oh, this is a girl. This is a lady who was known for doing at a convention, mind you, at a convention. This is a voice actress, mind you. Okay, there's video of this out there as well, and RJ knows what I'm talking about. This is a woman who sat there, went up on stage with a life-size guy in a costume of Pen, who was another character from Evangelion, and basically did with kids in the audience, mind you, did a striptease in front of Pen with a bunch of kids in the audience, and actually, I was talking about it with Backo, not RJ, but
so you're saying she might be inappropriate?
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, the thing that makes this ironic and hypocritical on her part is she's one of the ones who's coming out and, of course, accusing Vic of inappropriate behavior and
right.
So, so it's.
I everything I got from the Vic story was basically that he was a player, and that's it. He liked sex. He liked women. It wasn't like he was. I never understood the idea that he was a predator on youngins and stuff. He might have been a little too friendly for us to be comfortable, but I never saw any evidence of him. You know what I mean? Like he didn't.
Yeah,
really
they claim it's from the fact that he
Okay,
comes from
nothing's been
Italian-
proven. Leave it at that. Nothing's been
Right,
proven.
exactly,
Nothing-
George.
Nothing's actually been proven.
They tried to lead it down an underage path, and nothing was proven.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's it. End of story.
Here's what I've been doing today, all day. I've been packing up Exilium. So if you backed Exilium from Ben Slayback, it's on its way. I've got towers of these things. I got all the, almost all of the Embrace out of the room today. It's in the car to go to the post office tomorrow morning, just in time to build towers of Exilium.
Nice.
It's
Keep
really
you
cool
busy.
you're
George,
doing this.
You got something to show here, George, you want to talk about?
Yeah. Because of my movie night streaming, one of the challenges I've been facing for the last 9 months is that I would go through the YouTube process of confirming that the movie's free and clear of any copyright claim, only to have it claimed during stream and ruin the stream. So I had enough. So I wrote to Team YouTube, and I said, Team YouTube, please help. I spend time uploading movies to YouTube until there is a green check mark as an advanced prep work for the movie night streaming. But sometimes when I stream the same movie, I get a copyright notice and can't continue streaming it. What's going on? Team YouTube says, it's sometimes difficult to understand why a rights owner has claimed your video, but they have the freedom to do so. More info about the content ID claim, including how to resolve it here. And they have a link. Let us know if you mean anything else. Well, no, see, what they're linking to is how to fix the issue after the claim has interrupted your stream, right? So you no longer have a show. Yeah, you have to end the show.
Right.
I said, so thank you for the link. Just to be clear, I upload the video, get a green check mark. I stream the same video and get an interrupted stream with a copyright claim. This is the situation I sometimes come across. Team YouTube says, there are several ways to resolve a content ID claim. You can remove the claimed content from your video with editing tools or disputing it if you feel it was incorrect. More info here and here. Okay, well, see, their response is to stuff you would upload and go live and make public, right? No. Yeah. I'm talking about streaming. Okay, so I would say thank you. These options seem to be good for after the copyright claim interrupts the live stream. Is there any way of preventing a copyright claim after I had the video confirmed it was cleared by YouTube with a green check mark, so the live stream would not be stopped? And Team YouTube says, copyright owners choose when to issue claims and how they want to enforce their rights on their videos. Link. For future upload, here it is. For future uploads, the checks process can alert you to any copyright concerns. And they link to the checks process. Let us know if this is something else. That's exactly where we started from. Right? This is exactly where we started from.
I'll be right back, guys.
So they want to send you back to the same
wait. So I said, this is exactly where
you started this loop.
Yeah. So I say, thank you for the continued replies. I have run the video through the checks process and got a green check mark. But when I tried to live stream the same video, I get a copyright claim interrupting the stream. And since then, I have not heard from them. Before I usually get a response almost every hour on the hour. In fact, we can see this right here. Let's see, 10:51. When's this reply? 18 hours ago, 13 hours ago, 13 hours ago, 12 hours ago, 11 hours ago, 10 hours ago, and still waiting.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is that situation, George, where you can't go into that building without a pass. Where do you get a pass? In that building?
Yeah.
So
That's actually pretty amazing. You know, like they just walked you through a full circle right back to the very thing you were complaining about.
Not complaining about. It wasn't a complaint. It was a concern. I asked.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's true.
Excuse me.
Actually, George, your situation reminds me of another thing that happened over the last couple of days that was eventually resolved. Don't know if you guys heard about, but there was a YouTuber who went missing for like a couple of days there, but he was eventually found.
Oh no! Do you mean that YouTuber just turned off his computer and went and had an ice cream and watched a movie and had fun with the family?
No. This, it was Mr. Obvious is who I'm talking about.
Oh, I remember Mr. Obvious. He made some statements that sounded suicidal.
Yeah. I know that both Yellow Flash and the Quartering were.
Wait a minute. What kind of suicidal messages? That's it. I'm jumping off the internet.
Yeah, I'm checking out.
I think it was specifically something like "I'll be gone for a while" or "I'm sorry, I'm going" or something like that. But a lot of people took it, to mean like "uh-oh." So there was that. I remember that.
Apparently, what at least one of the contributing factors that led to all this was apparently he was demonetized by YouTube like a year ago. He hasn't been able to make any money on it. Apparently Mr. Obvious makes a lot of content that's very similar to like the Quartering, and they demonetized him for some reason, and they didn't tell him why.
Well,
it really upset him. It's like,
well, they can remonetize him if he goes through the check system and gets a green check mark.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. No, that's bullshit. 99% of the time, if YouTube or Google demonetizes you, there's a reason why, and you can easily find out from the.
I'm just telling you what they were reporting, George.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know the guy. The only thing I know about him is basically what Yellow Flash and Quartering said. Okay. Yep. Apparently,
was this the guy who got
he's been on their streams a few times. I don't know the guy myself. They were concerned that he was possibly, he was upset. I'm saying that was one of the contributing factors. That wasn't the only contributing factor.
He was fine. He has more subscribers than ever now.
But if I'm not mistaken, and I probably am, but I think he was the guy that got busted by YouTube for videoing or streaming in a bathroom, a public restroom. He was at some convention.
Again, I don't know about that aspect.
This was like a year or two ago, so it's probably an old event. But that's what I remember hearing his name associated with last time I heard about him.
Well, I'm
glad he's not dead.
I do know of one person who was filming in a bathroom, filming in the women's bathroom. That was voice actor DC Douglas.
No, this is rumor and speculation, and it doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, George, that last tweet you sent them, I would have actually gone back to your first tweet, copied the link to it, and just tweeted it back.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I was thinking of doing that, but that would have been a rude response. I know. I did think about that. I go like, wow, I just came full circle.
And mind you, George, I wasn't trying to engage in speculation there. I was just telling you what.
No, not you. The other dumbass on this stream.
Hey, man, I can look it up. I'm pretty sure that's accurate, but yeah. I mean the dumbass part, not the rumor part.
I know. I was
the other dumbass. You could be a lot more specific. So
where are the covers tonight?
Yeah, what are we going to cover, George?
No, we already did so many covers.
There wouldn't have been enough time, anyways.
This is true. I've got to jump off right before the top of the hour because I'm going over to the CRoM Con. Pops is running CRoM Con like he does every month, last weekend of the month. So
apparently there was no ladies' night the other night because they only had the one lady there. I guess all the
You gotta
other
have more than one.
Uh,
I just realized that the UFO in all my videos lately, where it's coming from. If you look behind me, there's a flying saucer on my ceiling,
Yeah.
and I'm like, where the heck is that? And I kept looking at it. Finally figured out it's the J. Garrick hat that's hanging on that hook, and the light is to the the left.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the J. Garrett hat? You son of a
Yeah, I got
bitch.
the J. Garrick hat. I made the J. Garrick hat from scratch.
Oh, it's even better.
Have you not seen my J. Garrick hat?
No. Let's all look at it.
So I went on eBay for the base of this, and this is a World War I Doughboy helmet.
Wow.
Ah, gee whiz.
That I sanded down. I took the beaten leather out of it. I ran. It's starting to come out of it here, but I ran basically.
I'm more reminded of Jay Garrick with that than anything else.
Well, yeah, that's why I said it's the Jay Garrick helmet. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But Jay Garrick's helmet was a World War I Doughboy Army helmet, and you can still see the strap latches on there. I didn't take those off because I might put straps on it someday to help it keep on. There was a broken Hobby Lobby Angel in the house with these not plastic. I don't know what they are. Some sort of resin wings. I just sanded them down to where they kind of fit at the angle, and I painted them with the gold glue, and
voila.
Oh,
and I have the long sleeve Jay Garrick shirt. So with a pair of jeans, it's the cheapest Well, this wasn't expensive, but it was work, lots of work. But it was a poor man's cosplay, and it works out just fine for a golden age Flash costume.
Yeah. Well, Jay
I
Garrick had some interesting sidekicks as well. I don't know if you remember them, RJ, the three dimwits.
Oh yeah. Well, that's.
I can see a story on this. I can see a comic book store actually have the Jay Garrett hat, but what they didn't know when they purchased it at auction, and no one knew, is that it was solid gold. And then a bunch of thieves who are tracking down the gold discovered that the person who had possession of the gold bars melted them and forged the hats.
I'll be right back, guys.
Have either of you guys seen Comic Book Villains, the movie?
I have not yet. I may be seeing it after you talk about it.
Get it. Comic Book Villains is fantastic. There's no comic book superheroes in it, no super villains, but it's very much about comic books. It's this movie about there's two competing stores in a town that sell comics, and one is like the guy who played Bullock on Gotham is the owner of one store, and it's very much a comics cave. It's like, this is the comic geek store, men only, bunch of incels, don't let women in here. We should clean up sometime. That kind of a store. The other store was a married couple, clean, neat, very yuppified. Everything is stacked perfectly on the walls there. They're in it for the business. So they've got their different clientele. Well, a guy dies in the town, and they find out that he's been collecting comics since 1938, and he still has all of them in a temperature-controlled room. They're all in mint condition. They're just this whole golden age trove. And he lived with his mother, who's still alive. So now both of these stores are competing, trying to get the mom to like them so that she will sell the books to them. And they just escalate the war on each other. Trying to.
So the villains are real life.
I think I remember some of this. They come across the closet and they're going like, the temperature's good. It's this and that, and then all of a sudden they look inside and say, "Oh my God!" And that's when the whole story continues, right? Yeah.
And he's got them all in bags and backers, and they're just pristine condition. The ending of the story, I wanted to scream. Right there before it was all done. But the real ending was that he also collected baseball cards from the tobacco packs, and they were also all in mint condition and pristine and worth a lot more, actually. But what happened to those comics will make you cry.
Oh no!
Yes, go out and rent Comic Book Villains and give it a watch. It's really good. I don't know what's.
I have a feeling I know what if that's the case. I think I already know what more likely happens.
Well, can I give a brief? Let me just tell you, I had a traumatic moment in my childhood. I was about 9 years old. I had been caught not doing homework, gasp. And my mother took my one and only long box full of everything from my classic Sunday funnies from the newspaper to all the Marvel comics I had collected for the last 3 years, every bit of it, and threw it out in the middle of a fucking thunderstorm. And like I literally I melted. I cried. Like I wouldn't talk to her for 2 months. She like so bad, but she had literally destroyed everything, and there was nothing, I didn't have any big book or whatever, but it's your collection. You're like, all my X-Men, all my Avengers, all my Spider-Man, oh man.
Yeah, it's sad. The parents at that time, including my parents, really didn't appreciate the fact that you not only were you being industrious in terms of reading, but you were also industrious in terms of collecting.
Yes,
so you learned a lot of talents collecting comic books, and one of the talents that's one of the byproducts of your hard work was that the unforeseen value that came with it over time.
Yep.
It's like if my parents didn't throw away my comic collection in the 70s. I theorize based on what I remember at the best of my recollection, about $10 million.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm talking stuff that you see on heritage auctions. 9.9, 9.5.
Yeah.
And, first prints and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, I got them, but it's like they're gone.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. When I first got married, I had a lot of bills and had to take care of a lot of stuff, and I sold off slowly. But for bills, things like Spider-Man's first Punisher, Spider-Man Death of Gwen Stacy.
Wow.
Yeah. Hulk 180, 181, and 182.
You were pretty serious about this wife.
Well, I was pretty serious about keeping the light on.
Cross Comics is here. Hey, Rick.
Yes.
Hey.
He was at the auction too, by the way.
Yes, he was.
Oh. I guess I was fortunate. No one ever threw my comics away. Because I was, pretty good about I keeping them under the bed in stacks, especially when I started getting things like American flag. I don't know what this is, but I think I better hide it.
You guys were mentioning the Punisher. That reminded me of another news story I did this past week.
Oh shoot!
Did you guys hear what Eric Larson had to say about the Punisher?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What?
He thinks the Punisher should be gay.
Oh,
and go around and kill.
Coming from a guy, forget it. Honestly, can we not talk about him? Eric Larson is.
Well, not only does he want the Punisher to be gay, but as I think RJ was about to mention, he wants the Punisher to go out and kill people who wear his gear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
let's forget.
Well, the thing I want to just mention on this particular story is that would just completely kill the whole backstory of the Punisher. The Punisher went on his, now, Grant, I may not have read the Punisher comics, but I'm at least aware of the background there. Okay. The idea was he became the Punisher because his wife and child got killed.
Yeah. You're right, Mike. You're right. In a nutshell, the Punisher is a revenge and a redemption story. redemption to get his
sit there
humanity
and
back.
do what Larson wants to do. Larson's an idiot.
Yeah. Everybody knows that.
Mike Barron had a better take. Here's Mike Barron's take on what the new Punisher should be, and I'm ready to get behind this, because honestly, this is just Jennifer Blood in a good T-shirt.
What, a female Punisher?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so basically, just stick a gun in any chick's hands, and then put the skull on the chest.
There you go. Yep.
Actually, I know in anime.
Mike was joking,
I know
by the
in
way.
anime, the girls with guns is a bit of a popular genre. There's noir, El Cazador de la Bruja, Mad Lax.
Well, aren't women with guns always hot? I mean, let's be honest. They never look bad.
Yeah. Have you seen Republican women with guns?
Yes.
Some of them.
Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, I never commit names to memory with women anymore.
No.
They're just
Yeah,
they're not my wife. That's their name.
That's a good thing to do when you're married.
Yeah.
Never get their names straight.
Their name is not my wife.
Yes. That's all their names.
Well, I got something to share.
What you got?
And next Friday, on my movie night.
This is where you're going to get my show flagged now, right?
No.
Okay.
This is Captain Marvel. I'm advertising Captain Marvel Adventures 1941.
Yes.
Complete 100% copyright free.
Yes.
All right, but
see what he's done with this, guys.
But this is going to be next Friday. It's going to be a world first, and I'm not saying this lightly. I'm being very sincere. Next week is going to be a world first because not only have I cut the entire series down to 2 solid movies, but I also went in and did visual effects to enhance the experience of what you're watching.
Dude, we should promote that this week. That sounds cool.
And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a couple of the transformations that come with it.
Awesome.
You said these transformations cut to a sizzle reel.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. But right now, I'm going to show you the first transformation, and then I'm going to pick one at random inside the. This is where he's Shazam, and he tells him about everything, and then this is where he utters the words. Okay, so
are you sharing sound, George?
No. I'm not sharing sound because I don't want anyone to know what the awesome Shazam sounds like. I want that to happen during the movie.
Yeah, because you did audio.
I did. I did audio too.
Hey, George.
But wait. So what you see here now, when you see this transformation, the original transformation, it was just the smoke. You see the smoke. Wait a minute. Let's watch again. See the smoke?
Yeah.
The lightning effects weren't there. It was just smoke.
George, you're adding effects.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, but I can see it now.
Well, yeah, this is why I'm showing it off. Okay, well, now watch. Now, again, remember, back then, all they did was just throw smoke in front of the camera, and they swapped out the actor when the smoke cleared, okay? Now, watch closely. I actually had you focus in on the character. So yeah. you actually see the transformation without the smoke getting in the way.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Let's go back. I'll do it one more time.
I like that how Captain Marvel, I'm too big to go through that hole. I can crawl through his belly. Like,
watch. There you go. I'll step through it. Here comes the lightning.
Oh yeah.
And you see the background still animating Everything's still animating. I close cropped the actual characters themselves, so that way when the transformation happens, you don't get the entire frame freezing. So I'll go back and play it one more time. As is. Captain Marvel
runs in, can't get through the window, forgets that he's strong enough to make it bigger.
Looks inside, and then
Shazam!
That looks so sweet in real time too.
Yeah, this it's not only that, but there's more. I because he has the speed of Mercury. There's some scenes where you actually see him running real fast, just like Superman 2, the movie, in the opening scene, where he runs through the back alley and changes from Clark Kent to Superman, and you see all the speed effect like a flash, speed effect, where you see a trail of where he was running just before, it was. I don't know. I'm geeking out. Forget it.
So my question was going to be really unrelated, but kind of related. That QuickTime window looked like a classic Apple piece of software there.
Yeah, it's just part of the operating system.
Yeah, but it looks like it's not updated to the latest, right? You're using a classic Mac there.
No. Like my Macintosh is.
He doesn't let Apple change it.
10, 12 years old.
That's awesome. I have it. It just caught me as nostalgia because you're talking about Captain Marvel and you were playing it on a QuickTime window. I recognized, but I have like a new Mac and I'm like, that's not. Wow, that's wow.
The thing about the Macintosh compared to the PC is that if you get yourself a good Macintosh, you invest yourself in a good Macintosh, and you lock in on the operating system and you purchase all the software for that moment in time, right? It basically the whole thing becomes your gold standard. Do not upgrade. Do not upgrade your operating system. Do not upgrade your software. Right. The only thing I've been upgrading was maybe the browsers themselves.
Yep.
Right. But that's it. And I don't need there's an update to the Illustrator Pro or the Photoshop program or whatever program, right? And it's like, why? Or so I can get this extra effects, extra feature. But if you're just a meat and potatoes guy,
you don't need it. Yep.
You don't need it. And to have a machine this old is great because the oldest machine I had was a Quadra 950 from the mid 90s. And I got rid of it in 2008.
I knew a guy who swore by his Amiga the same way.
All my kids and my wife are running all my old Macs.
Yeah,
they're still going.
But this was back in like 1989, and we were talking about the new Terminator 2 film and how they did the effect of the guy squishing through the bars.
Yeah.
And they were like, he was like, yeah, they probably spent about $2.5 million on that effect. Or they could have done it on Amiga for 70 cents, but we
had those jokes. I mean, they did. What is it? Babylon 5 on the Amiga.
Yeah, they did. It was all rendered on that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it modeled and rendered. It was glorious.
That was a great show. Babylon 5 was on syndication in St. Louis, Channel 11, KPLR, and they moved it to like 2 a.m. on a Thursday.
It still ran. It still had people watching.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. People were complaining about it. It's like, why the hell did you do that? And the station manager caught heck because this was in pre-Twitter days, so I don't know where he said that it got out, but he said that he would be happy to make a VHS tape for the 2 people in St. Louis who watched the show.
Jeez.
You don't do that.
That sounds. I believe KPLR was the local television station prior to it closing down. Of course, that ran wrestling at the Chase, prior to 1982.
Well, yeah, because wrestling at the Chase was in St. Louis.
Yeah, the Chase Hotel.
Yep.
You had the greats like Harley Race,
Junkyard Dog, Dick the Bruiser,
Big Bill Miller. Even had the Von Erichs go through there. Ted DiBiase prior to him becoming
Nature Boy, Nature Boy,
Ric
Flair.
Yeah, Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Yeah,
that was my childhood. Wrestling at the Chase Hotel. That was wrestling was swanky. You went to the swanky hotel, ordered dinner, and then watched sweaty guys beat each other up.
Well, even prior to that, you had guys like, let's see, Sonny Meyer back in, like, when you go all the way back to like the 50s and 60s, you have guys like Sonny Meyer, Lou Thesz, Pat O'Connor, among them.
Yep.
So.
Intense Webs, I've got this little button on my taskbar that says, upgrade to Windows 11 is ready for your PC. It's been there for 3 weeks and I have not touched it. I'm not ready for Windows 11.
I'm using it at work, and I have to tell you, it's very similar in my mind to the Mac OS.
Oh, even more reason not to use it.
Yeah, it's getting closer and closer to it. Like how they have the Microsoft Store pretty much tied in with 10. Yes. Well, 11 makes it even more so, and a lot of the cosmetic features are becoming very Mac-like.
Okay. RJ, I know it's like 51 minutes, so I'm sure
we got to do something.
Start to wrap up.
Yep, I need to wrap up so we can close it out so I can switch over. I'd love to just leave the stream running and put somebody in charge and let you guys just go to town, but I don't think I can do that yet. It's not like Zoom.
So before you go, what time is the stream Friday? This movie stream?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. All right.
Yeah, Eastern time. 9 o'clock. What? 9 o'clock. What?
Eastern Standard Time.
Thank you.
So basically, you're like right up against me then.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, right. Mike is going to finish early, or he's going to EFAP us.
No.
Yes. Well, Georgia.
You guys know what? Well, as long as we're promoting stuff, real quick here.
Yes,
Friday night, of course, is the historical comic retrospect. This week we'll be continuing our coverage of in October 1938, in which we'll be going through quality comic. I believe it's issue number 15 of feature funnies. Will be, of course, the two highlighted stories we'll probably be going over will be The Clock, aka Captain Napkin Face, as some of our people like to call him, and Black X. So among other things, among a few other things as well. So and of course, Monday through Thursday I do the Niche Newscast, in which I go over niche news stories from everything from releases to to full on editorial news stories and all that. So.
Yeah. One other channel I want to mention real quickly. They haven't asked me to. It's just I found it. It's cool, and it's all based on a book. The Bat Feed is doing a documentary on Batman called it's called Gotham 1919 to 1939, and it's based on this photography book that says, when Batman comic came out in 1939, it was a story that had already happened to somebody, and this was, now the case files were coming out. So Batman was in operation from 1919 to 1939, and the photography on this book is phenomenal because it's basically Batman was operating in the 20s, so the costumes are all based on what was available in the 20s to work with. It's been given this patina of reality. The Robin costume, the Batgirl costume is just and the Joker is nightmare material. It's the best Joker of any era, and it's a 1920s suit with a guy that's just crazy looking. Definitely check out the Bat Feed, and they'll provide links to the book. The book is pretty expensive, but it's on my radar. I'm wanting that book so bad because it's a biography book, fictional biography book, obviously, but it looks really cool. Chris, what do you got going on this week that we can promote before I jump?
Well, really not much. Just catch us Wednesday night on Hero Shack when Diana gets to run through what we're doing. That's about it. Because I'm still developing the comic, so I don't want to push it too hard. There's enough out there right now, but Trolls Exposed is in development, and we are excited about that too.
Or before the lot of us get in there and start yakking it up to where she can't talk.
Yeah. Well, she has fun closing us down. She's like a mama of the chat.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for popping on tonight. Folks in the chat, thank you all for being here tonight. We don't have a show without you. And as always, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.